Hey, what is up, everybody? This is the Great Puckatini, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to have a player breakdown video here on Ken Talley. Now, Ken Talley is a defensive end, and he transferred to the Arkansas Razorbacks from Michigan State University. And Ken is an interesting guy here, and we're going to check him out. I think he's another guy, kind of like Justice Boone, who's kind of been playing a little bit out of position, haven't had much of a chance to play. And he's another guy this is what the transfer portal is for. Just not getting a lot of playing time. And he's got a lot of talent. We'll talk about that in a minute. He's got a lot of talent, but he just haven't had much of a chance to play. So let's check him out and see what Arkansas is getting. Now, some of his biography background information here. It is Ken Talley. He's a defensive end, going to be an edge rusher. He is 6'3", 256, and runs a 4.64 40. And I believe that was him. They said Ken Talley, and I couldn't really, when I clicked on it, I couldn't get it. I did see somewhere that he says he ran a 4.77 out of high school. So either way, he's got prototype speed. When you compare him, when you look at the NFL prototype defensive end rush end, their prototype size is 6'4", 266. And so you see that's, Talley's a little bit smaller than that, but not much. He's got pretty good size in there. And he's faster than that prototype speed. So a little bit smaller, but he's faster. So, and I heard Travis Williams talk tonight about, hey, they want speed. Size is really good. They want big guys, but if you can't run, it's not works. It don't work. They want the size and speed, and I do too. That's what you want. You want BFS, bigger, faster, stronger. So you want to be bigger, you want to be stronger, but you also want to be faster. So the speed is the most important part of that. But anyway, he's right at that prototype size, just a little bit under maybe, if you want to say that 10 pounds under, probably an inch, half an inch, something in there. But anyway, he's right at it. Now, he's from North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I guess from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I didn't know there was a North Philadelphia. But anyway, and he went to high school at Northeast High School. All right, now let's look at his college journey, because I'm going to tell you, you're a pretty good player. First of all, if you sign with Penn State and then you transfer to Michigan State, I mean, those are big programs, a lot of history. They don't have players that aren't any good, okay? They recruit players that are good, and Ken Talley's been to two of the top programs in the Big Ten, in Penn State and Michigan State. But anyway, he signed with Penn State out of high school in 2022, and they redshirted him, so he didn't play at all that year. And then he transferred to Michigan State. He only played in 5 games. He had 5 tackles and a tackle for loss. In 24 last season, he played in 10 games. He had 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks, and then 2 quarterback hurries. So you see, as his chances grow, as he gets more playing time, his stats get better. It looks to me like he just needs, and they got him playing out of position too. Justice Boone there at Florida was out of position. I think Ken Talley's out of position, and we'll talk about that as we go on here. And also, guys, he was a highly rated recruit in high school. He was in the Rivals top 250 in the country, and he was in the top ESPN 300. So, I mean, he was a highly rated recruit coming out of high school. I just don't think he's had much of a chance. And once again, this is what the transfer portal is for. A player that's not getting the right chance, maybe wrong system, maybe change coaches, whatever. And he's transferring, trying to get more playing time, and make it to the NFL, because he definitely has the talent to do that. He just needs the chance, and I don't think he's had much of a chance yet. And I think he's an adaptable player with experience in 2 Power 5 programs. That's very important. He's been in 2 Power 5 programs, 2 Power 5 programs. And so he knows what hard work is. He knows what good teams look like, what it takes. And an adaptable player means that he can play defensive end. Also, they put him in there at defensive tackle. I even saw some stories when he was coming out of high school. Some of them were thinking that Penn State might put him at linebacker. So, he's very adaptable. He's versatile. You could do a lot of things with him. I think he's just going to be an edge rusher here at Arkansas. But you could, like I say, if you don't have defensive tackles, can't get a pass rush, you can put him in there. He's a little undersized, but Michigan State did that with him some. We'll see some clips of it. And he can do that. So he's versatile. He's adaptable. All right, now he transferred to Arkansas there in December 16th of 2024. This was this past December. He brings Big Ten experience to SEC competition, like I said earlier. Now, how will he fit with Arkansas's defense? Okay, now he has needed edge pass rush depth, and with him you have him and Boone, and then we have Frank Mulipalo, and then we have Quincy Rhodes. We have some others too, but those are 3 or 4 of them, and we need at least 4, maybe 5 to rotate in, depending on how the game's going. So he definitely gives us much needed depth. And the good thing about him is he's a high motor player with a youthful upside. Now you might say, what does a youthful upside mean? That means that he's pretty good right now, but he's still young. He can get a lot better. And I think Ken Talley's not even come close to reaching his potential. I think he's a little bit out. They've played him a little bit out of position, and he just, and I think Arkansas signing him and Boone both based on what they think they can become, not on really what they've done so far. Both really good athletes, hadn't had a whole lot of productivity, but I think we see that they can do it. They have all the tools. We just got to get it out of them. And I think Deke Adams is the man to do it. If Talley work hard and get after it, he'd definitely be a really good player for us. And we need him to be. Need him to be good. What do I see as outlook at Arkansas? I definitely see he's going to. I expect him to compete for immediate playing time. That's what we need him to do as a transfer. He needs to come in and fight for that starting spot right away. He gives us athleticism and versatility in that defensive line rotation. Like I say, he's going to be an edge rusher, but he also can move inside and play some defensive tackle in there. In obvious passing situations, you don't put him in there if it's a run, 3rd and 1. They're fixing to run at him. He only weighs he's not even 260. He'll be going against a 300-pounder. So that's. So you want to do it in obvious passing situations where he can use his quickness. And that's what I put. He can play some defensive tackle in obvious passing situations. So he gives us a lot of athleticism on the field. Gives us another guy that can run if you do put him at defensive tackle. And but mainly he'll be a defensive end and edge rusher. But anyway, he can do the defensive tackle a little bit. All right, now, and that's my slideshow. Let's look at a little bit of film. Now, once again, there's not much film on him. He hadn't got to play much. And I think they have him out of, like I say, this first clip here he is right here, number 11. You'll see he's a defensive tackle in here. It's 3rd and 9, obvious passing situation, so they brought him in to rush the passer. Okay, so let's see what he does here. Hopefully I got this all queued up and ready to go. Here he is, 3rd and 9. I've got about 5 or 6 clips we're going to look at here. And this is they're playing Michigan. That was this past season. You see him kind of just not much there. Didn't have much of a shot there. He kind of got doubled at the very start. Then passed him along there, and he. But you just get a look at him there. See, he can move. Pretty thick body, 6'3", 256. All right, so just you get a little look at him there. Now we'll jump up to 41.07. I'm gonna move this up here. 41. Unfortunately, somebody got hurt there. Now right here, he is maybe this guy right here. Cannot remember. So this is a little bit more. I think this is him. A little bit more his position here. What is it? 41.06. This should be it. And he's right there, I believe. But he's still inside that tackle. Just quarterback rolls away from him. Not much to see there. Now you do see him running, chasing the ball. I still would like to see him on that outside of that tackle. They're wanting to line him up on the inside and attack that B gap, really. And I think he's an edge guy. He don't need to be in there a whole lot. But that was obvious. It was obvious passing situation there again. I think it was 3rd and kind of long, right? 3rd and 5. So anyway, all right. Now next we're going to jump up to 41.32, which may be the very next play. Let's just see if we can just do this. Yeah, here it goes. Now, See, once again, they got him in here at defensive tackle. He's almost a nose guard. And these are big guys now. This is Michigan, okay? Michigan usually has really big, strong offensive lines. These are not nobodies he's going up against in here. These are big stud guys that are good. A lot of them will be in the NFL. So let's see what he does right here. You know, he's getting double teamed there. There's just not much. You just try to push that pocket right there. You know, not much to see there, but he just letting you see him on film there a little bit. Just a little bit of a push. But there, you know, you got two big old guys. That's just not his game. He's not. He needs to be on the outside where he uses speed and quickness against these bigger guys. All right, now let's go now to 4208, which I'm just going to kind of. It might be the next play. I think this is it. And this is him right here. You know, once again, they're putting him in this tackle, so he's got that big gap. Move him where he is. You know, this is 1st and 10, and let him get on that edge. Use his ability. But here he is right here. That's what I'm saying. I just think they're not getting used correctly. Hopefully, we'll use them correctly and they can play. They'll do a little bit better. Good little move right there. You see that? A good little stutter step and comes inside and gets pressure right here. He forces the quarterback to throw a little bit before he's ready. So this is a good clip here. Shows you what he can do. Gets off stutter, and then boom. Pretty quick. Shows a good quick move there. Quarterback did a good job getting rid of it, completing that pass. What did I just do? I just unfull screened it. Now, let's go to 113.30. Right about there. This is probably it. Where's he at? I think he's right here. So you see here, and this is what I'd like to see him do a lot, is a stand-up defensive end right here, or put it one hand down, whatever. But he's outside this tackle. That's more of his natural position, not in here banging against these guys. Let's see what he's got right here. And that is, yeah, it's him, number 11. You see a good picture of him there. Here he comes, good quick, look at that, good speed, gets right around him. I mean, why do they not want to keep him there? Look at, he gets around quarterback and forces a quicker pass, and he's ready. They haven't done that much all night. But look at him, good quickness you see right there. Okay, good quickness, quarterback feels it, and he gets rid of it quick. He feels it right there. It makes him, you know, now they got to punt it. So, I mean, I don't understand why they don't put him in that position more often. I watched this whole game, and they didn't do it that much. But you can see he clearly feels pressure and gets rid of it quick. From Talley and number 5 there. Both of them. All right, last clip here is at 135.25. Right about here. Where's he at? He's right there. Once again, he's at defensive tackle. They're wanting him playing this gap here. Okay? And that's tough. Now, that's not what he's really built to do, but let's see how he does here. You know, he gets double teamed again. The outside guy comes running. Let's see what this guy up here does. See if he's doing what he needs. He's dropping back pass coverage. And I think they looped this guy down here. I think he looped around. Yeah, and he, you know, you wouldn't have to do all that looping if you put maybe Talley, this defensive end out here. But anyway, it's just hard. I mean, he's getting double teamed right here. There's not much he can do in there. He does a good job of kind of hitting, try to push him back a little bit. That's about all he can do right there. So, and that's really all I got there. It just not a whole lot of stuff to see there. You know, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 plays. He only played 153 plays. You know, you compare that to David Oakey, who played over 800. I mean, for Abilene Christian, and Talley only played about 153 maybe plays I've seen. this past season, so he should have a lot of tread on his tires. He did just not playing out of position, just not. Defense don't really suit him. I think he'll suit him a lot better at Arkansas, and I think that's what Deke Adams has done. He's picked Boone and here Talley from guys that have that ability. They just may have been in a bad system. They haven't had much of a chance. 153 plays in a season is not very many. If you're getting that many, you think your defense is really, really good. Make another team punt real fast, but that's not exactly the case. But anyway, and that's all I got, guys, on this video here with Ken Talley. He's a young man that's played at two powerhouses. If you go to Penn State, if you're recruited by them, you can play, okay? I don't care if the Big Ten where. If you go to Penn State, you can play. And if you transfer to Michigan State, you can play. So he's been at two powerful Big Ten schools, Power 5 schools, and he just hadn't had a lot of playing time, And I think he's the type of player that the transfer portal is for, to get him in a situation like Arkansas where he probably fits that a little bit better. And I think the sky's the limit for him. Like I said, he's got that youthful upside, that he's young, he's pretty good, but he can get a lot better. He's got a lot of upside that he can grow into, because he just hadn't had much of a chance, I don't think. So anyway, that's all I got. I think Talley can be a good one. Just hope he develops. We need him. We need the pass rushers to come on and get after those quarterbacks. And I think he can do it. Hey, if Deke Adams saw something in him, I trust Deke Adams and think he's a wonderful coach. I've worked with him, I've said many times, when he was at Ouachita Baptist University. I was a lowly head junior high coach and worked with him with defensive linemen, and he was a really good coach, and the kids loved him, really liked him. And if anybody can get it out of him, Coach Adams can get Ken Talley to play. And he's got a high motor. It's not that he's not trying. It's not that he's got a bad attitude. He's just a little bit out of position. there's not much he can do here when he's getting double teamed. He's a little bit way undersized to do that. To get in there and do that, he's to be 300 pounds, like Cam Ball, and David Oki, 290. And that's not Ken Talley's game. And I don't think Arkansas asked him to do that unless it's like a 3rd and 9 like this. Then yeah, he can get in there and try to use his quickness. But anyway, guys, that's all I got. Thanks so much for spending time with me and watching. If you did like it, please hit that thumbs up button, and then hit the subscribe so that you can get notifications, or click that bell, however that works. If you would subscribe to my channel, that way you get notifications when I make new videos. I've got videos on all of the 2026 guys that have committed to us. I am working on all of the transfers that are going to play on this year's team, because we haven't got to see much film on them at all. You get a little bit of practice film, and that's it. We didn't get to see the scrimmage and all this and that, so I'm trying to get these guys where you can at least see them and see what we're doing. And Ken Talley's a heck of a sign here now. He's a really good athlete, and I think he can be a player. Just gotta bring it and get after it. I think he will. He's got a high motor, and he just play hard, get after it every play, and he'll be all right. And so, like I said, if you would subscribe and then come back soon, I got a lot of videos like I was just telling you, and I'm making at least one a day, trying to get all of the 2025 transfers, try to get a video on them so at least you can see them and know what we have a little bit before we play Alabama A&M, I think, is first game there, I believe. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night, and thanks, or a great day, whenever you're watching this. And thanks so much for spending time with me. I really do appreciate it. And come back soon. And leave me a comment, if you want to. Leave a question, whatever. If I said something, did something wrong, tell me about it. I love talking football, whether I'm right or wrong. I can admit it either way. But anyway, have a great day. And as always, go Hogs.